welcome back to WhatGear Reviews, and I say that because I'm assuming you've come straight from the low light comparison between these two phones, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Xperia 1 Mark III. And this is going to be the daylight photo comparison. If you want to see video side by side, that'll also be in part 1. I'll link it at the end of this one in case you missed it. And what you just saw was the selfie video quality on the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III. Right now you're looking at the cover display selfie camera video quality on the Z Fold 3. And do you want to see what the under display video quality looks like? And this is the under display video camera quality. Let me know how they look, how they sound. Now let's look at some photos. Okay, so first off, someone please remind me to get a new hoodie. Look how bobbly this one is getting. Anyway, this is the cover screen selfie on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, if you were wondering. And the Sony selfie camera, in my opinion, hasn't evolved much since the Mark II. And that doesn't mean it's bad, but I definitely think Sony can do better. It's got quite a cool tone right across it, which is funny because that's almost completely opposite to what it was doing at night. And if you want to check out the night photos, I'll link it at the end of this one. In my opinion, the Sony photo is just a little bit too blue and it kind of makes the picture look a bit washed out when it comes to colors. The details are good though, and that wider angled lens certainly is an advantage when it comes to taking group photos on the selfie camera. And the Z Fold 3 selfie camera seems to have really nailed the skin tones and the colors in the background. It's just a very accurate photo in my opinion. I am impressed here. The details are good. Overall, it's not a bad picture. There are pros and cons to the Sony selfie camera. Let me know what you think about these two side by side in the comments below. Okay, here's the HDR shot. And for those of you not familiar with high dynamic range in a photo, it's the phone's ability to deliver a picture with brighter details and more contrast between the light areas and the dark. So what I notice here in the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III photo is it's actually delivered a really nicely balanced photo across the board. The HDR abilities definitely seem to have improved since the Mark II. And there are no parts of this photo where it's overexposed. And what tends to happen with phones with bad high dynamic range abilities is you'll get these big matted out areas where it's all one color because it can't handle the brightness. We're not seeing that here, so that's good. On the Galaxy Z Fold 3 picture, it's brighter overall, with the colors looking slightly more enhanced and the shadows lifted a lot more than the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III photo. And quite similar to what we saw in the night comparison, what we're actually getting here is the Sony is delivering more true to eye colors and details, whereas the Samsung is using a little more AI than the Sony. So what do you like? True to the eye or AI? Let me know in the comments below. And what I'm going to do now is roll some more photos and let you guys be the judge of those pictures. Feel free to pause it and take a closer look. And don't forget to let me know if you see any significant differences between them. And I'll join you again once we get to the lens tests. You're definitely going to want to see Sony's new variable lens tech in action. Anyway, enjoy the photos. Alright, so this is the ultra wide lens on both devices. What's interesting here is the results were very different at night. And if you want to see what I mean, make sure you check out part 1. I'll link it at the end. Anyway, warmer tones here on the Sony picture with a sort of more shallow depth of field. We're getting a brighter and more vibrant photo on the Samsung. And it does seem to be picking up more details in the background as well. Now check out these zoom lenses. Here's the primary. And arguably you're getting sharper details on the Samsung, especially if you look at the sign in the background. But here's where Sony's superpower kicks in. It's the new variable zoom lens. So this is a 2.9x zoom with that moving lens that Sony has, and you immediately see how much better the image is overall compared to the Samsung. And that's because that glass is actually moving inside the phone. It's almost like I actually walked closer to the sign and shot the photo with the primary lens. Now, if we go 4.4x, again, the Sony retains that picture quality and sharpness as if I literally physically got up and walked closer, but I didn't. I was still sitting there drinking my beer. And in my opinion, what makes these features really great is that even at these longer focal lengths, the photos are still usable. Some phones will boast these amazing zoom numbers, but the reality is they're kind of pointless because when you take a photo that far away, it's basically unusable. So I'm not sure what the point of them really is, unless you want to spy through people's windows or something like that. Anyway, here's the maximum 10x on the Z Fold 3. And you can see what I mean. There's quite a bit of noise when you go that far out. I guess this zoom lens could be useful if you need to read a sign far away or something like that, a signpost. But apart from that, you're not going to get a great photo going 10x. Whereas on the Sony, 4.4x is pretty much the same as taking a photo with the primary camera itself. So that's pretty cool. So normally at this point, I would do the side-by-side video comparison, but that's actually in part 1. So if you guys want to check that out, that thumbnail's on screen right now. If you got any value out of this one, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you just subscribed, that means you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. And I will see you in the next one.